So here we are. It's been a while.
There you go.
Let's see. Our last recording was like June the 1st. So I think that's right. June the 19th is, let me look it up here. When was our last recording?
Well, I think it was before Blade Show, but I don't think I was on that one because I was up in South Dakota. So I think, so it's been a while for me, but
yeah,
yeah, before Blade Show. So
last one was May 29th. So it looks like, let me see. I don't want to lose you here. So it looks like this is like the only one for June 2026, unless we may get another one in. But man, we were all super busy. Busy.
This time of year is just really crazy. Everybody getting. It's not just going to Blade Show. It's all the folks who have tables that are trying to make enough knives to sell at Blade Show, and it's just a lot of work.
And for me, I mean, I spent the first week of June in Sandestin, Florida, and
that's right.
And then I shot over to Blade Show, and then came back home, and I wasn't having enough fun, so I scheduled a colonoscopy.
Hey,
and hey, I'm 24 hours post colonoscopy now. I can tell you. I went 60 hours almost 62 hours without eating because they did this 2-day prep. I guess it's a geriatric prep for 60-year-olds because they make us go for a couple days. But I can tell you, after the first 6 hours, I was clean. But I followed it. And the doctor said, you did such a good job prepping. And at 62 hours, my wife said, what do you want? And I said, I've got some Ritz crackers and a Gatorade in the car. We'll eat that when she get home, and we'll eat something when we get home. And she said, Chick-fil-A? I said, Chick-fil-A sounds like great post colonoscopy food. And I ate 2 sandwiches and a large fry. She had the gall to ask for one of my fries after not eating for 62 hours, but she's my wife, so I certainly gave her one. And then I got home and I still pigged out. I got up today was the next morning. I had 2 English muffins with some ham and cheese on them, toasted. And at work today, they had more Chick-fil-A. I'm like, I'm not complaining. And then tonight I came home and made fajitas from scratch. And those turned out extremely well. My wife was pleased. She was like, you did such a good job. I love it and she's like, how do you do this? I'm like, I just do it together with some taco seasoning. And she was like, this is like restaurant stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how I do it. So,
yeah, they look good.
It was really good. It was really good. Yeah. So then well, you know what it is? I've got a bunch of gentlemen from Mexico that I work around each day, and I find out how they cook and the things that they do. And I'm cooking actually quite authentic. Because I ask a lot of questions, and it's just so delicious. It's like going to your favorite Mexican restaurant instead of eating, Taco Bell or homemade. What is the tacos you can buy? Mission those taco kits you can buy. And I know we do pretty good at home, but it's not all the cheese and the sour cream and all that stuff. It's just basically a tortilla and really good food. We did use a little sour cream tonight, but I got into cooking. I mean, I've filled back up. I'm good. I'm back normal. I'm hydrated again. But you know what my most favorite part of the colonoscopy was?
What's that?
I asked them to use the big camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They said they only had one size. And I said, well, hopefully it's petite. But my most favorite part, and I don't know how to explain this, Mark, is that when I got done with the colonoscopy, it has nothing to do with a knife show, but y'all have to hear it, when I got done with the colonoscopy, the doctor came around. He's like, you have a 12-year-old colon. And I'm like, well, isn't that special? And I can become the poster child for colons at geriatric colons. But the interesting part is that I had diverticulitis, or diverticula, which is a lot of pockets in my colon. And the only way to get rid of them is through surgery. So you pretty much manage them the rest of your life. They went in this time, and there was nothing there. I mean, he said I had a 12-year-old colon, so I don't know how they went away. So I don't know.
Well, that's great news.
I don't know. Miraculous healing, I guess. I think our bodies do a lot of wonderful things. So are you due for your colonoscopy?
I had one this year.
Did you enjoy it?
No, but I mean, you're asleep, so it doesn't really matter, right?
Best nap you'll ever have. Did you use the big boys camera, or do you make them use the petite?
I don't know. I did not ask. I said chef's preference.
I would say they likely used the chef's preference, whatever that one is. So I don't know. You Italian guys, though. I don't know. Speaking of Italian, Kyle Daly's over in Italy right now.
Yeah, that looks. I'm glad he's sharing some of the like his experiences on our little chat group because man, it seems like just a great time. It's been a while since I've been over there. I was over there in the military for work for a couple times, but did not get to do the full tour like he's doing. I spent most of my time in Naples and went to Vesuvius and Pompeii, a couple of those things, but never got to go to Rome and some of those other locations. So it was some of the things that he's doing is pretty good, and I think the great thing too is that he's making it enjoyable for his kids, because I think after a while, I don't know how old his kids are, 8, maybe 7.5. You could only see so many ancient ruins with kids that age. So so they got to do some other fun stuff that it looks like it's really they're going to enjoy it.
I hope they get out of the country because if I'm not mistaken, I think that Jason Fry sent them over with a historical items list to get out to make knives. I'm not sure. Anyway, Jason, tell us more.
Could be just a few Roman artifacts, nothing too serious. I mean, they were into bronze and all that, right?
3, 2, 1, 0.
You're listening to the Knives Templars.
I got a piece off of the wagon that Sam Houston used to take JFK to the moon.
Pinto sauce. I like that. Pinto sauce.
Pinto sauce.
You're tuned in to the Knives Templars Podcast, featuring Jason Fry.
Yeah, I've been just been doing what we do.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Eric T.R.E. Rivers.
Holy crap, I built something.
Mark Vasallo.
There would be a lot of places I would launch myself to.
Chip Carlisle.
We've had a raccoon come through the screen door down in the family room.
Kyle Daly, Cage Daily Knives, the Knives Templars.
Josh Ferran.
I was a mean kid.
And now broadcasting across planet Earth, it's the Knives Templars, coming to you live from Courthouse Studios located in Hartselle, Alabama. This is the Knives Templars Podcast. We are on air, on demand, and heard worldwide in all of your favorite apps and at theknivestemplars.com.
.com, baby. .com. Yeah, baby. So here we are. You it'd be nice if Daly would bring you back some of those artifacts of the people frozen in time in Pompeii, and you could turn that into a nice little something or other.
That would be interesting. Some of that stuff is too good to make a knife out of. Like, even though I love a good historical knife, I like making them out of historical trash, if that's okay.
Right.
Like the real thing, but not the valuable thing. Like, I don't want Sam Houston's like false teeth themselves, just like a piece of wood from a tree planted or something.
How about his like kidney stone or something? Would you take that?
If it was given to me, I could probably make it work.
Authenticated kidney stone. I think I would have to use that just for sake.
Somehow.
Make a little cutout in the knife and put some epoxy. Make a little epoxy windows or something. I don't know. We're going too far. But this is going to be an exciting show because we've taken about 3 weeks with all kinds of activities we've been doing and getting ready to come back and talk about it. So I don't interrupt the fun. I'm just going to say up front, guys, we are sponsored by popsknifesupplies.com, NewJerseySteelBearing.com, tr-maker.com, and their TR Maker, and Brodbeck Ironworks.com. If you need a grinder, I saw that Brodbeck, Ryan, they've got that nice little power hammer that they've got, but they've also come out with a small press as well. Go to ShegmanKnives.com. You can find them at knife-maker.com. Phoenix Abrasives. If you go to Phoenix Abrasives and buy your abrasives, if you put in Templars 10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off all your order. Jason Fry. You can find Fry Custom Knives. Got it. I got it. Got it. EvenHeat. EvenHeat-Kilns.com. I think everybody on here is using an EvenHeat right now, and we love those kilns. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do some stainless we'll talk about tonight, and I'm fortunate to have an EvenHeat. KHDaily.com. KH Daily is a wonderful knife maker. He's an award-winning knife maker, and he's also a great fettuccine maker we've seen from our videos from Italy, where he is at this week. So I told him today, I said, you need to just start doing some of those Neil Carmamora cooking videos like he does with his knives, because he is quite the chef from what we've seen. Go out and visit ClarkIronForge.com. Find yourself a nice forge. One of the best presses out there. A lot of people are using his presses. And above all else, go out and visit knifemakersguild.com. You know what we say? We say, why make knife alone? Why make knife alone? Why make knives alone? And honestly, learn to make great knives together with other people. So you can join a group of about 300 people in the world and learn to make knives like a bunch of great makers out there. You can visit them at the knifemakersguild.com. We have the president on tonight. How are you doing, Jason?
I usually say that presidency is overrated. No, I'm doing good, man. It's been a lively few weeks. We had this big thing in Atlanta. Maybe the listeners have heard of it. Something about a blade and a show. No, a blade show was since our last episode. Let's
talk about some chronology here. I went to the beach and waited for Blade Show to begin.
Mm-hmm.
You all drove to Blade Show from far away.
Yeah, about 15 hours.
I got to Blade Show. We did Blade Show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, we put out the next issue, the second issue of the Knife Makers Guild magazine has gone out.
Mm-hmm.
Got continued great reviews on that. We can talk about it a little bit later. Then you went to Mr. Fisk Forge over in Arkansas and turned out
some week in Arkansas.
Night. Mark, you went back and wanted pictures and some of the professional pictures that we had made with my iPhone camera of you getting your voting membership in the Knife Makers Guild. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
You are such a wonderful maker. And let's see. And Daly has gone to Italy. Let's see here. Let me think. Josh Ferran's child is still crying. he's got an infant. He's crying tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Emily is still making handles, and let me see. Andy Roy has joined our group. He's part of he's starting to contribute into the magazine, and that's going to be a great opportunity for him to get in and write. And he's moved over to Mississippi and opened up a wonderful new shop and a great destination to go. And let's see, Steve Katz, he broke his first sword tip today in a year or two or three. So
what did he say? He said it'd been his first one in a long time that broke.
But man, that guy, I didn't realize on his spears, all those animals, he carves them, he said. I'm like, I need you to carve me a baboon, because he had a baboon on one, and I didn't have a need for the spear. I've already got his knives.
Speaking of monkeys. I was called a macaco velho the other day.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what that means except Brazilians, people that speak Portuguese. Where's Otis here when you need him, right?
That's right.
So I was called him macaco velho, which is an old monkey. And I was like, dude, am I supposed to think that's awesome or an insult or what? In English, you're an old monkey is kind of iffy. But apparently that's the Brazilian idiom for a wise old guy that knows all the tricks.
So that's what they told you anyway.
Actually, a compliment, yeah. So as a knife maker, I was called an old monkey knife maker, which is that's sort of halfway true.
There's a few Portuguese words I know that would not have been good, so old monkey is good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Old monkeys.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, you'll have to go back and listen to the beginning of this. I gave the breakdown of my colonoscopy at the beginning of the show. I'm sorry. If you have questions or need answers about colonoscopies, I'm here to answer. I know that Mark's had one this year. Your brother just recently had one. How old are you?
For the listener. 48. I had one last year before last, something like that.
Did you get the large camera or did you use the smaller one?
Man, I paid for the whole thing anyway. I don't know.
I got the big boys test.
Using, but they used the full length on me.
I got the big boys test. I asked for the large version. So, yeah. So, Mark, what have you been up to, buddy, since Blade Show?
It's kind of like you get back and it's a blur, right? Because beforehand, I was up in South Dakota for a week, came back for like a day, and then not even a day, and then I was back in the car to Atlanta.
Tell us about that. What were you doing in South Dakota? If it's legal.
No, it's legal. Yeah, I mean, so actually, I was stationed up in Rapid City, Ellsworth Air Force Base for 6 years, way back when. And our son's godparents still live in Sioux Falls, or the Sioux Falls side of the state. So it was their daughter's wedding. So we all went up for that because they come down for everything for my son. So we're like, we definitely have to go up for that. But yeah, it was a great time. The pretty much their whole family are ranchers, and their families and friends are all like cattle ranchers and. To that kind of stuff. So interesting at the reception, a lot of times they'll do like the bride's dance and the groom's dance and all this stuff to raise money for the couple. They raffled off a lever action 357.
Oh wow!
For the couple, like somebody bought it and they raffled that off, and they cleared like I think it was like $7,000.
Did you have to be a citizen of that state to be in that raffle?
You had to be able to give $20. As long as you can give $20, I don't think they cared. And
very good.
We're like, hey, how are we going to get that home? I was like, I don't know. I'll figure out a way if I win it. So, but
you could have turned it into a kit gun and then reassembled it when you got back home.
Yeah, I would have laser engraved it. But yeah, so did that. Again, got to go to a Blade Show, which we'll probably talk about Blade Show here a little bit later. But then got back, and it takes like a day or two to get reorganized and get everything settled, and and then this week I've been really this week I haven't been doing much because we have that tropical depression that's swung through down here, and it's been raining. Like I think we got 10 inches of rain or something like that in a day and a half or something. Yeah,
I've been watching it come across you guys. We've had some rain up here. Tomorrow's good, but it looks like you guys have been swamped.
Yeah, it's been I bought a house on a hill, so if I'm underwater, then it's the apocalypse because Mobile is gone from the map.
Have you got a GPS to see how far you are above?
I have looked it up. It's like 150 feet or something, or 200 feet above sea level or something.
I was driving somewhere through Florida, and there was a sign on the side of the road that said the highest point above sea level in Florida. It was like, I don't know if it was like 200 or 300 feet or something like that. And, it would still look like flat in the middle of nowhere to me.
Yeah. So if the sea level rose 200 feet, then we'd be having a problem. But yeah, it was just bad enough that I wasn't even going to walk 100 feet from my back door to my shop. So I was like, nope, not going to do that. So I did a little work on my, I told you I bought a new laptop. I'm switching stuff over there. And
what kind of laptop did you get?
Like an HP. I got it off of like a discount site and, got a decent deal on it. So
very good. Very good. You don't like Apple?
I do, but the problem is a lot of the programs that I I use, they're not really up to speed with Apple yet. And so it's just, it seems like everything runs Windows. And so I have my iPhone. I love my iPad. At some point, if I was going to college or something, then probably, one of the MacBooks or whatever they call them would be great. But I think at this point, with versatility on the different programs and stuff I use, especially for the laser, it's just better for the have a PC.
Works for your equipment. There you go.
It does.
Yeah. I donated an Apple computer to a young man this past week. It was a 2019, and I installed a new hard drive on it, and we reformatted it and did that. Only thing was it wouldn't upgrade to the latest software, but the latest operating system. But other than that, it was pretty darn good. So he was tickled to get that. So
nice.
I created another Apple fanboy.
There you go.
Yeah.
I actually turned down a hand-me-down MacBook or Mac something, iMac, because I have never had a Mac before. I've had PCs for 25 years. So
you've never really used Apple?
I was like, man, I'm an old monkey. I don't want to learn any new tricks.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm using an iMac here. It's a 23 iMac, 1923, 2023. I'm from the 1900s. I'm actually from the mid 1900s.
Sure.
Yeah. And as I've gotten to use them, I actually enjoy them. They're not too bad. They're great. They're great computers, especially if you're creating a lot of content, this, that, and the other. So anyway.
Is that what we're supposed to be doing?
I think something like that.
Creating content?
I had my first, what I would say my biggest post ever. I ordered a knife making clamp handle vise from Ucell, and it works really nice. And I posted a picture of it online and wrote up a nice little write up on it, this, that, and the other. And I'm approaching 50,000 views of that particular picture with the little write up I put on it, a few paragraphs. Nice. And I was like, oh, wow, I've made it. And then I went and made a couple other, and it got my typical 150, 200 views. And I'm like, what is it that makes these things take off?
I don't know. I do know that Canon videos do a lot better than knife videos.
It's true. Here's what, I think what did it is I did something that grabbed people's eyes. It's got a lot of nice color in it. And I happened to set this knife vise on my forge. So, and Ucell is the one that told me this. You see these valves, and it looks like they're going down into it, and it's sitting on this box, and down below there's these 4 screws that are actually holding the burners into my forge. It like they could be part of that. And I think it's gotten all of those views. Now, it's got a ton of likes, but I think it got all those views because Ucell says it's confusing. It looks like there's valves that go into this thing. So I redid the picture and showed it without the valves, beside the picture with the valves, and it still continued to grow. So, yep. I'm a social media influencer now.
There you go.
Yeah, you've been a social media influencer since you got like 1 million hits on that one of yours, Jason. How's that working out for you?
Oh, I'm not going to get rich doing that anytime soon.
Yeah,
I think I may have told y'all the story about Melissa, the naked and afraid lady that does so much social media. I was talking to her one time, and
if she put her clothes on, would she still be afraid? Is it
I don't know. She's got her clothes on in the videos I've seen. So
gotcha.
I don't know. I haven't dug through the internet, but no. So I was asking her about it, and she wouldn't quite come out and say it, but she kind of said, I'm a pretty girl, and so that's why I have lots of social media followers.
Well, it's interesting.
So I don't have that option. So
no, not at all. You don't even identify as it. You don't even identify as a pretty girl, do you?
No. Wouldn't do any good if I did.
Me neither. I look like Wilfred Brimley these days. Got the diabetes. Hey, so yeah, and you see that in advertising, even for knives. A lot of times it's pretty voluptuous girl up front, and that just grabs the people, and they just start looking. You look at the views on those things, and it's like they can show us like 3 seconds of that, and then it goes on the regular video. And I don't know if YouTube and those others count the retention time into a video.
They do. They look at it a lot.
most of the time after those first 3 or 4 seconds, and it goes over to somebody that looks like us talking, it must drop off pretty quickly. But
probably does. That's one of the stats they track is retention. Like you can sometimes even see a graph of like when do people drop off.
I've seen them. Sure.
So my graph would like pretty girl drop right off when I come on.
Yeah. It kind of tells you what, this world is, but hey, we're just going to make it on the beauty we got and the products we produce, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, they definitely figured out how to game our reptile brain and not our actual thinking brain.
Most definitely. That, so. I actually learned this week did I tell you how to colonoscopy?
I think I might have heard that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if y'all had heard about that yet. The doctor that did the colonoscopy said that our colon is our second brain. It actually thinks for itself. There's a lot of study behind that the colon, I don't know, I'm still drunk on propofol. I need some milk. I need some more milk, doctor. And that was my Michael Jackson. He was asking for the milk, but your colon tends to think for itself. And we'll have to look that up. I'll look it up while we're talking, but something about the colon thinking for itself. But that's crazy talk. Let's talk about.
So speaking of thinking for yourself,
yeah.
No, I would like to talk about a little bit about my class experience, if that's okay.
Well, actually, that's what I was trying to segue into, away from
colons.
Yes, I was, but just so that we end this segment of the brain gut connection, the colon and the brain are in a constant bidirectional communication via the gut brain axis. Your colon houses a second brain, the enteric nervous system, containing millions of neurons. This system regulates digestion while directly influencing your mood, stress levels, and emotional well-being. So I guess when I've told my wife, do you need a can of Raid? And she goes, why? I go, because you must have a bug up your ass. It must be that brain gut connection. So let's talk about Jerry Fisk and making knives.
Yeah. So for those that live in a cave and don't follow knife making very much, they just listen to these awesome podcasts. Mr. Fisk has been a mastersmith for 30 some odd years, maybe 40. He was an early member of the Knife Makers Guild, actually, was there in the early 2000s. Decent friend of Buster Warinsky. I've heard me talk about him before.
Yeah.
And one of the things Jerry did was that he earned an artist designation as a National Living Treasure, so a folk artist of high caliber. In the art world. Anyway, so knife maker. He lives in Nashville, not the one with the music, the one with the knives, Nashville, Arkansas.
Where is that at in relation to, say, Little Rock?
It is southwest of Little Rock a little bit, kind of
down
40 miles north of Texarkana.
Getting down near Falk, Arkansas, where the Falk monster,
yeah, I mean, an hour from there. Anyway,
that.
so I was able to take a week-long class with Jerry, and we pretty well worked 8-hour day. We worked 5 8-hour days. I mean, we put hours in. And he was open to teaching us whatever we wanted to learn. And so I was there with another guy named John Nolan out of Waco, Texas, who was wanting to learn how to make Damascus and improve his knife making. He makes axes and skillets. That's his thing. It's John Nolan out of Waco. But he was trying to up his knife game, and I also was trying to up my knife game a little bit. So we made a series of Bowie knives. That's kind of Jerry's specialty. So, well, let's learn from the best. So started out.
Why didn't you do Bowie knives instead of the Bowie knives?
Because I'm not a Yankee.
Okay.
I did. I'll tell that story later. Anyway, so we started out forging a little bit. I'm a passable forger. I'm a pretty good grinder. I can forge something to where I can grind it into a nice knife.
Yeah.
But Jerry's focus was teaching us about forging closer to shape and some ways to move the metal a little better. Learned some good stuff that way. And then, the first day we forged. Second day, we did some Damascus as well. I had a billet that I had brought that was kind of iffy. He helped me get that fixed up. So Damascus troubleshooting was one of the things I was really trying to learn. I was able to learn how the master would fix some common errors and salvage a billet.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. Then we did heat treat. And we learned how he polishes and etches his Damascus. So again, everything I do is self-taught, which means my teacher was lousy. And so, so to actually see other people's methods was cool. I bet I said 50 times, like, I know how I would do that, but I'm here to see how you would do it. What would you do? Over and over and over. And there are a few things that Jerry said lots of times. One of those was, now you know everything I know. That was not ever true. But he said it a lot. Another thing he said repeatedly over and over was, if you don't mess that up, that's going to be a pretty good knife. Over and over. And
still
it's kind of just being silly, but
yeah.
But there's some truth to it too. It made us be intentional and careful about not messing up, because it's important. So anyway, finished the blades. He gave us access to his handle templates. He has a bunch of shapes that he does well and frequently. So we were able to pick through his templates and set that up next to our blades and pick a style that fit what we were trying to do. We ended up both picking an older 1800 style that has what he calls a belly band. So it's kind of a bolster in the middle of the handle.
Yeah, I was wondering how you did that.
Yeah, so those are actually built on a frame handle and then soldered on to the frame. You could just as well pin them. I mean, that's the way I was thinking to do it, but I wanted to learn it his way. John, that was with us, had never built a frame handle, so that was his interest was in expanding his skill set over there. So we ended up building those. I had brought some pretty good mammoth. Put a knife most of the way together. With knife making, you never finish; you just kind of stop. So this particular knife, I had 2 hours left. And I was like, well, I could glue it up, but I couldn't do anything with it, So I said, let's not do that. Let's do something else. So I'll glue it up here at the house. He usually uses Corby's even on his full tangs, because it gives him a nice 1/4 inch or 3/8 head to engrave there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn how he did that, but again, we didn't have time. So I'm just going to pin it up with little 1/16 domed guys.
Hey, let me tell you this real quick. I don't know. Can you hear this when I bring on Mark?
I can hear you. What are you talking about?
You don't hear the feedback from Mark?
No, I don't hear anything, but I can try to change my mic.
Yeah, your connection's kind of loud on this side.
How about now?
You're still loud, brother. You're just making this feedback noise.
Okay, yeah, it kicked me off, and then I logged back on. I don't know.
Now you're feedbacking. So restart and come back on.
Okay.
See you, buddy. Sorry, we just want the best quality listening.
That's right.
For our listeners.
That's right. That was another thing I learned in my class was details. I mean, we say all the time in the guild and everywhere else that the last 10% is 90%. But
right.
when you haven't learned that lesson, to hear it is important. But when you have learned that lesson, well, what does the last 10% look like? what does the last 1% look like? Like really breaking it down to, no, fix this detail, no, fix that detail.
Yeah.
So again, it was good to have a master kind of looking over your shoulder as we worked on that kind of stuff. So that was that. I ended up bringing home one almost complete knife, one heat treated blade, 2 more forged blades, billet of Damascus. I'll tell that story. So another thing Jerry is into is the historical stuff. So
right.
I would say,
y'all got along great, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. So it is his fault that I am into that. And I won't say he gifted me that, but he gave me permission back in 2017 to take that journey, to take that path. And so with his blessing, I've been kind of doing that, which is his ballpark. I've been doing that for I guess almost a decade now. But one of the things we were talking about was that I had just gone to Atlanta in a Honda Civic, and so I couldn't bring the Canon because Jerry would have loved the Canon. The Canon is fun. But couldn't haul a Canon to Atlanta Blade Show in Civic. So I segued that into saying, well, I want to make a Canon themed knife sometime. Whether I can get a piece of cannonball or a piece of, Canon tool or Canon carriage or something Canon and make a Damascus Canon themed knife, and then build a little Damascus cannon to go with it, like that shoots firecrackers or something. Just because. He's like, "Oh, I got a cannonball," and so he gave me a piece of a cannonball. I was sad it was a Union cannonball, but he gave me a piece of a cast iron Union cannonball.
A Bowie cannonball?
From it would have been. They probably wrote Bowie on it. No, so a piece of a cast iron Union cannonball from a little skirmish that happened in Arkansas, not far from where he lives. So he was able to go to that property and metal detect and find some stuff. So,
oh wow,
I have he wrote the date down. It was April something, 1864. He wrote the date down that the cannonball was fired in the Civil War. Unfortunately, at my guys, but so that was cool. Now, here's the problem with that: cast iron doesn't do anything. You can't forge it. You can't do anything with it. It's brittle. It breaks.
You could. Can you mix it with other steel and make a canister or anything with cast iron?
That's sort of what I'm going to end up doing. So cast iron has 2 or even sometimes 3% carbon. On our knives, we're working on 0.8 or 0.9% carbon, right? So it's got 3 times as much carbon as knife steel. That's part of what makes it brittle. So from the research I've done so far, the trick is going to be mixing it in with enough regular steel where the carbon evens out, right? So I'll probably put it in a can, probably a mild steel can, maybe some mild steel jacket. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'll have to work it into some mild to make it into a homogeneous bar of something usable. Yeah, I don't know. There's reasons why the Mastersmith hadn't used that before, right? It's going to be a tricky project.
Right.
But we'll get there. So that's only the first piece of the Canon knife that I had in mind anyway. I still got to find a few other things. So, all good.
I even if you add just a little bit to it, though, it's still a historical piece, and I know that you have the
absolutely. And even though you can't forge it, if this is like about a 5-inch cannonball,
if
I can even get a piece of it to flatten without cracking, so maybe not forged, but if I can get it to flatten out the round, then I can make a guard or a spacer out of it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
pretty quick.
So Mark's looking at us all intently. If he can hear us here, I keep sending him a text says, "Mark, restart your computer. So hopefully he'll get that. If he can't hear us, he'll restart. So we're watching him on video, and he's intently.
Looks great. He's doing good.
Looks like he's trying to get the Apollo back to Earth, but it's just not happening for him.
See how slide rule calculus is.
There we go. He's gone. Maybe he's restarting now, and we'll get him back on the show. So that is really cool. And I think that, when we're looking at pictures, it's hard to tell, but looking at that buoy, appeared to be one of the most beautiful knives I've seen of yours. And not that your other knives aren't beautiful. It just looked really classy.
Thank you. Yeah. Classic design, very, very fisky.
I don't know. It's just also your grinds and the fit up of that handle and everything. Again, I've seen your $5,000 knives. They're gorgeous, but just something about that one, I was just like, you got your money's worth out of that week.
Thank you. So that's a hard calculation. I do think I got my money's worth, by the way. My wife was less convinced, right? She's like, well, did you learn anything? And the best I could do is say, yeah, I learned like three little things that I can't explain to you right now.
No, you should say, honey, yes, I learned that if I go on vacation for an entire week and a half by myself, I come back relaxed, not having to listen to any honeydews or kids.
Yeah, no, that would not have flown.
You don't think
that wasn't really true?
No, I know it's not true.
So it was a lot. The best way I can describe it is it was a lot more like CEUs than it was like college.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so like I'm already a capable knife maker. Like I wasn't going there to learn how to make a thing. Yeah. I was going there kind of for continuing education where you sit through with experts and try to pick up things that you can then integrate back into your existing structures.
Yes.
And it was very much like that. I do that in my day job. I have this license that I have to go get classes for. You know, if you go to this conference and you sit through 15 hours of classes, like 2 of them are good. Jerry's percentage was better than that. So in that regard, it was pretty good. We were learning something all the time. But it wasn't like I could come back and say, well, I learned this new thing. I did, but
no, but you know, I guess I can relate that a little bit to my Blade Show experience because going as a voting member, you can say, well, that's nice. I'm a voting member now and I just pay my dues, and as long as I'm ethical and, you know, make decent knives, I'm in the guild forever. Or you can hold yourself ethically to a standard, whether you join anything else or not. And a lot of that is continued growth because we work hard to get those knives made to where we are. But, you know, for me, old VMAX, you're still fuzzy, buddy. He just came back and he's a little fuzzy. Anyway, he's looking at us. I'll tell you what, Mark, just do the rest of the podcast using sign language and we'll interpret for you. Yeah, something about that new computer. I don't know what it is. He's giving me the finger right now. And I don't know if that's a backwards A-OK, but I'm not up to date on my hand signals. I don't know if that was an insult or not, but anyway, some reason that new computer's got a buzz in the feedback. I don't know. Let me ask you, you don't hear it? Come back on real quick, VMAX, and tell me, do you hear it, Fry?
Talk, Mark, see what you got.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't hear any background stuff.
Yeah, and this is my original. This is my son's laptop that I've been using the whole time. So something, I don't know what changed, but
yeah, I'm not quite sure. So VMAX is using his default Yeti speakers. He's using his Realtek microphone array. That's what it is, Mark. I can see which microphone you're using. You're not using your using your Blue Yeti.
No,
you got to go in and select your Yeti. You're coming through your computer right now. So go back on mute until you figure that part out, and then you're going to be just fine.
Now it says Yeti. Is that? Oh, not speakers. Wait.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to mute you, buddy, until you.
Oh yeah. I thought it was muted. Sorry.
Okay.
But no. So, what else did I learn? Jerry talked a lot about marketing. That's kind of one of his specialties. I think most knife makers would like to learn how to sell more knives for more money. So we talked about that a lot. And there are no secrets, but one thing he talked about it that I like the analogy. It's very Southern, very country. Was that part of the challenge of these big shows is that there are a lot of hogs trying to get feed out of the same trough. Right?
Yes.
So there are so many makers, and there's just a limited amount. There's a finite amount, not limited, but there's a finite amount of customers and money in the room.
Yeah.
You're trying to get past all the other hogs to get your turn at the trough. That's the way that he described these large shows.
Yes.
The antidote to that was find a different trough with less pigs. Like, okay, that does make a measure of country boy sense, right?
Yeah.
He talks all about ways we can find access to good money, good collectors, and people that'll buy high-end stuff,
right?
Without having to fight off all the other pigs at the trough.
Yeah, Blade Show.
As soon as I figure that out, I'll let you know.
Blade Show for me is not a place. Yeah, it's not a place to go sell knives. It's a place to network and have fun and watch other people sell knives.
It is,
unless you're Steve Katz and or Kyle Daly, because
the South Africans actually do very well too, because their exchange rate is such that their prices over here are not all that high. So quality is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
And there was nonstop people at his table. I mean, they were, in fact, I think there was a couple fights that folks were trying to get the last Beanie Baby off his table. But yeah, there was his, plus it's really cool stuff, right? It's unique. The South Africans have a lot of unique things that, not everybody has, right? Like when you go around and look at Edie's. Yeah.
Turn your gain down a little bit now. You're perfect.
It's all the way down. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's all the way down.
Okay, well, back off from the microphone.
You want to turn it up?
Bit. Negatory.
Turn it.
I want you to just back away from the mic. Just back away from the mic. There you go. Man, this is production in the live in the round. So
yep. Sure.
You're doing good though. Your microphone sounds great. It's just we got it selected right, and you're good now. But
I realized what happened is that I bumped the cable, and when the cable disconnected temporarily for the mic, it defaulted to my computer, and then I had to restart everything, and then get the mic back going.
And it was wonderful watching the look on your face as you were trying to figure it out. We can see why you were assigned. Is this correct to say you were assigned to a flight wing?
Operational wing and aircraft operational
wing. We could see, because we could see the wheels turning in your head, and you slowly and deductively figured it out without taking a drink of that wine glass, and got it all worked out. When you got it all done, you celebrated it with that wine glass and drinking some. Is that wine you're drinking?
I am.
You're so fancy. You're so fancy. So we're glad you're back. Oh, and what we were talking about, certainly too many pigs at the trough. But maybe that'll be the episode title tonight. But also making better knives. And while I say that Blade Show for me is not necessarily selling knives, I don't know if I'd ever have a table there. I enjoy working with makers like Jason, and you work with Kyle. It's just fun to watch them from their experience and learn from them, but also because I value the friendship. I would rather sit there with Fry for 3 days and not see anything else at Blade Show except just share the fellowship with him. And if the only thing that would make it better if we could get the whole Knives Templars team on one row, maybe someday we can do that. Right. But so we have to run to each other's sections occasionally to give high fives and chat. But and that makes it fun too. But I know you feel the same way about Kyle Daly, sitting there working with him over those 3 days. I will tell you, it's not the knives. It's all the buddies. And all the buddies keep you freaking busy. You have no voice, and you are worn out by the end of 3 days because you're selling buddies all day long.
Oh yeah, in the pit, I couldn't talk in the pit. My voice was done. But yeah, no, he's he sold some knives, but it was a nonstop flow of selling his knife making tools too. And I think the key thing is that really just trying to tell his story to folks, because really that's what I don't know. When I was whether it's you're an aircraft maintenance manager or a knife maker, or you're selling, I mean, you really have to sell the story. And then, no matter what your knife is, or, just kind of like yours, your story that you have for your knives is that, that's what you really got to sell, because there's a bunch of people who make knives just as good as, a lot better than me. And, but you need to sell that story so that that's what sets you apart. Right.
Yeah. Hey, back off from your mic just a little bit tonight. What people probably don't realize is that, Riverside has given us a whole new interface, and we're all getting used to that. And from what I see so far, it's really good, and it's putting out good quality video. But even from where you would normally talk closer to your mic, it starts kicking us off the graph here. And I want to make sure that you're not, what do they call it when you're in the red? Huh?
Clipping.
Yeah, I want to make sure you're not clipping or anything. So use your end-to-word voice and stuff.
Yeah, which is so odd, right? Because I used to have to talk right up on the mic, and so now I'm like, a foot or so behind it. So just
you could actually go for 2 feet, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, then I can't see you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because my eyes aren't that great.
All right, I'll cut you down in post-production. I'll take care of you there. Don't mean to focus on it so much. It's just kind of funny, but it actually is a nice new interface. But anyway, I had the opportunity, after Mark got his voting membership, which was so wonderful. He made 4 beautiful knives, but I had the opportunity to take one of my knives around, and I showed it to Jason Knight, J.W. Randall, and Black Dragon Forge.
Niels Vandenberg.
That just slipped my mind is all. And then I showed it to Dennis Tyrell and Josh Holtz, and a gentleman that walked over our table that was interested in learning about becoming a member of the Knife Makers Guild. And I was giving him the whole spiel, and he goes, good. He goes, well, I'm a journeyman smith. And I'm like, well, I just wasted 15 minutes. You're in. And what we mean by in is that you go ahead and go into a probationary role as a journeyman smith. And, but I immediately turned to him and said, well, will you judge my knife? So, I was 6 for 6, on them saying, hey, you're ready to go ahead and approach your journeyman designation. So I'm already getting started looking up and designing out my performance knife. And I was talking with Niels Vandenberg this past week, and he has provided me some blueprints as well as some videos on some knives that he has made that he says, hey, make these, bring them back, his biggest thing was, it might have been him or J.W. Randall said, make 7, bring them to the show next year. I'll pick the 5 that you need to send in. And that doesn't mean they'll pass. It's just, they're going to tell me which 5 are the best. So all that being said, that gave me a lot of boost because I'm very happy being a guild member, but I'm also, like you guys, just kind of driven to grow and grow and grow. And that's what's important about being a knife maker. Jason went to Boggy Creek, close to Boggy Creek, an hour away, to learn new skills, continuing education units, as he put it, but certainly skills. I mean, we can only get better every time we try harder. So my goal is hopefully I'll have them ready next year. If not, I'll go to Ohio to get 5 knives judged for journeyman smith. But the one thing I took away from all that, because they did point out things that I could do to improve. I mean, when somebody sits and says, your guard is 25 thousandths out on this side, and they're using their micrometers, and you go to another guy and he goes, yeah, you're about 25, 30 thousandths out on this side with your guard. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that. So they also gave me some advice on how to make sure those are, you break your guard into 4 sections, and you use this tool to set and measure it to make sure it's even on all sides, because when we lay our pattern on our knife and our guard to set and draw out the profile, sometimes that gets a little wonky one way or the other, and 20, 30, 40, 50 thousandths will make a difference. So I walked away from there with some continuing education units as well, to pursue that. Hopefully I'll be successful next year. Hopefully I'll be ready to do it next year, able to get the knives made. But I did realize, I told my wife when I got back, I'm not selling any knives this year. I've got 7 to make. That'll take me about 7 months, and then 4 months to stare at them. The most important piece of advice I got from Neil Zanderberg, he said, when you make your knives, put them in your case and don't show them to anybody. Do you know why?
No.
Put them in the case. Don't show them to anybody until you come here. You'll know if they need anything, if they're good enough. But people will put their hands on them. They will touch them. The acids from their fingers, they'll drop them. They'll scratch them. You'll wipe them. Wipe them down after they hold them with your cloth, and you'll scratch it with something inside that cloth that you can't feel or see. And it's going to affect your knife. So just put them in the case when you're done and bring them to the show, and we'll look at them. I was like, oh man, that's
a great point.
It really is. But Seth Voorhees and sharing with you guys gave me a lot of confidence going into, you only tell so much from pictures and everything, but still gave me a lot of confidence going into Texas. So that's kind of a unique new one. So that's my next challenge. That's my, what I took away from Blade Show, aside from conversations and stuff. I really wasn't much of a pit person this year.
Yeah, me either. I guess we just made it over there one evening, right?
I don't know if we went once or twice, but I think we went twice. But my favorite part was the guitar playing in the bar. Yeah. Who's the gentleman that was playing the guitar?
Tobin Hill was one of them. I don't know who the other one was.
The other guy was sitting just behind us, or in front of us at Blade Show.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Yeah, so they were playing some guitar, and I walked up and said, "Can you play some Johnny Cash?" And they're like, "Nah, that's too down." So they wouldn't play Johnny Cash. So I just had to walk out of there because everybody looked at me funny when I said play Johnny Cash, and I thought that was going to be a good one. It wasn't, so I was depressed and went back to my room, went to sleep that night. But did you guys think that the pit seemed a little shallow? I mean, it didn't seem all that busy this year.
It was less busy. Kyle brought that up. We were talking about that when we were looking down from the third floor. There was a lot of folks there, but not as. I think every year it seemed to me, I've 3 or 4 years, it's dropped off a little bit. The first year I went, you couldn't even get through there. It was seemed like it was elbow to elbow. And then, I know last year it was a little bit more, but it was more than this year.
Do you think that the departure of Forged in Fire has kind of maybe dropped some of the hype? Or is it cyclical, Jason?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that it's that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say you're screaming.
Guess is that it's a combination of all the economic factors. So, are we at war? Are we not? Gas is high. I think my hotel room was $1,200 or something for the weekend. I mean, I think that's a piece of it.
Was that $1,200 for a weekend? Are you serious?
I made that number up. It might have been less.
Good.
It's a lot.
I remember when we left, I'm like, "Do I owe you anything?" And you're like, "Well, I'll pay. We'll talk next year, and I'll split it up with you." And I was like, "It's $1,200." I would have.
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't have asked. Is all.
My point is economics. And inconvenience a little, right? So the Cobb was under construction.
Yeah.
True.
Parking was iffy. And again, they had done a good job making the convention center usable while they were tearing down half of it and all that. But even still, I think things like that have small impacts, and it's just like your stacking of tolerances. There's a bunch of small things.
I heard a lot of people say, and usually it was people with some sort of disability or elderly or whatever. And they were like, parking's terrible. I had to walk 5 miles to get here. And I don't know if that was the case or not, but anything, that I didn't have any problems seeing people getting parking in the decks and this, that, and the other. I think there's only one deck down, but undoubtedly somebody was having some trouble finding some parking. You can always go over to the mall, go in and get something to eat and just kind of walk back out. And,
yes. It seems like they would contract with the mall to get some parking rights or something. They were still kind of in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of open space over there at the mall during the day. So anyway, but that whole team does a wonderful job putting on that show every year. And even around some of the, they made it as wonderful and a great show. Even around the construction didn't get in the way of the show floors or anything. Getting to and in and out, it may have been a little bit more walking around the construction site to get in and out of certain places, like coming in for the day or leaving. But overall, I mean, what it did, instead of walking through a parking deck to get back to our hotel room, we had to walk around the construction site
it's the same
where
distance.
it used to be. Yeah, so it was really kind of the same distance. It just looked a little different. But all in all, I think it was another great show. I mean, the Balisong guys were there having fun as usual. And
it was funny. I at the Balisong guys, I was walking by, and I had. I brought like a couple of these 3D printed Balisongs that I made on the 3D printer here, and they were like flipping around. I was like, "Hey, look! I 3D printed a knife. I could do what you're doing." And I was just kind of like spinning it around like a top, and they thought that was funny. But I was like, "No."
Did anybody offer to buy one?
I probably could have sold it there. I probably could have sold a couple of them there just for a novelty item, but because it does have my logo lasered on it. So,
I think next year you ought to make some Balisong training buddies and set them out on Kyle's table and give him 10%.
So I'll tell you, Kyle said multiple times if I wanted to put stuff out on his table, I could, but I'll tell you, he needs every inch of table space that he can get because, between all, like he still didn't put all his knife making tools out. I mean, he had some stuff under the table that he couldn't display because he didn't have room. So I wasn't going to take that away from him.
Yeah, buddies, he was holding out on us.
He was like the, he has the epoxy buddy or whatever he calls that, his 3D epoxy holder. There's like 3 or 4 things that he had that he just didn't put out.
But you're his sales buddy, so I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So I would get one of those multi-pocketed vests and just open up your jacket.
That's right.
Hey, did Kyle have anything stolen this year?
Do you know what the funniest thing? So I don't think he had any of his products stolen, but you know what he did? People took constantly.
What's that?
Is the price tag. So he laser engraved on aluminum business cards the prices for his items, and he only really made one business card for each type of item with the price on it. And people would just like walk up and grab it and walk off. I'm like, hey, that's not a business card. That's a price tag. And he's like, oh, well, I just want it. I was like, no. It's not, you can't take it. This is the price of and so, and so some of them, he said, yeah, some people are just trying to grab as much stuff off the tables as they could grab. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. And then some people really didn't know, like a lot of the older folks, they'll be chatting with you. And without even thinking or looking down, they just kind of like pick it up and they start talking to you. And I see them holding it. I'm like, are you going to, that's the price tag. It's like, would you like a business card? It's like, oh yeah, I'll take a business card. And then I swap them. And so, but yeah, that's what he got lifted. Most of it was that we had to write out some price tags on some of his, his products.
Next year, my favorite thing from Blade Show, the favorite thing I got, now I bought some steel to make wedding knives for my, son and his fiance. As a matter of fact, my stainless steel, foil came in today. So I'll be chatting with you guys about that. But, my favorite thing is you guys were out in the pit and Kyle got conked in the head with a rubber Bigfoot and he presented that to me at Blade Show. So of all things, he thought I would thrown it down from the 10th floor.
Oh,
so, did you see the rubber Bigfoot?
You showed it to me.
Okay.
Or I don't know, maybe you sent a picture or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, he sent me, it hit him of all the people in the world to hit. The only thing that would have been better if it hit me in the head. So yeah, right. He gave me a hug and handed it to me. Jason, what'd you give me at Blade Show? You gave me some food.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember. Probably not much. I'm a terrible gift giver.
You gave me some knives to wipe clean at the end of each day.
I'm terrible about that. I know this about myself.
Let's see what else.
That's why I have a color man. I'll bring a chip along with me to like do social things.
Yeah. No, I enjoy my time with you. It's wonderful. It is wonderful. So, so after Blade, we got off we got back and we immediately went to print on our Knife Makers Guild second edition, or second edition this year. And got that out and getting tons of downloads. I'll have to wait and go get some numbers for you guys later. But the Knife Makers Guild magazine is on, you can get it on Google Books, Google Play Store Books, or whatever it's called. And you can get it at Amazon Books, I guess, Apple Books, and get it. Mm-hmm. Search for it there and get it. They're free downloads. We don't charge for the magazine. And people have been very receptive. We've gotten some really good reviews on online and the apps themselves, and we've gotten some good reviews online through the social media. So I've been very tickled with that. And I will tell you, if the Oklahoma Knife Makers Group is listening, I put in the wrong ad. It was the right event, but not the ad that they sent me. So we'll correct that in the next issue. So overall, though, it was very good. Have you read the latest edition, Mark?
I've been starting to go through it. It's funny.
So much to do.
Yeah. Well, I should have read it yesterday. I forgot about it yesterday when it was downpouring for, 16 hours nonstop or so. That would have been a good opportunity. But
well, there's a great article. There's a great article in there on choosing a laser.
Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah, that's a good article.
But no, I flipped through it. I saw which articles were in there, and then I'm gonna be getting it through it this week.
Gotcha. And no, certainly no rush on that. I was just curious if how it downloaded. The second edition, people had no problems downloading, and it's searchable now. So really excited. I'm in the process of selecting the cover photo for the next one. And there were so many beautiful knives at the Guild. I always want to sponsor Guild knives on cover photos or events that are Guild events or things like that, or even pictures of me. I think I'll put out a special edition mess up with a picture of me on the front. Maybe I'll put my colonoscopy photo that I sent you guys, just me laying in the bed smiling. Maybe I'll make that the cover, and then I'll correct it so anybody that got that download before they got the corrected cover, those will be collectible.
Guess that's one way to approach it.
Yeah. No, but we had such beautiful knives this year in Guild Awards, so I'm selecting those, and I'm almost like, there was the best of show? Is that the title of that award?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let me talk about that. So there was a gentleman out of Argentina named Matias Funes. Assume I'm saying that sort of close-ish.
Hey, and just to tee this up real quick, this is the person who was in getting his knives evaluated just before I went in.
Yeah.
So just to tee that up,
award-winning world-class stuff, and then we have to look at Mark.
Wasn't it for probationary member too? At that,
it was, and I was like, dude, how come we got to give this guy probationary? This stuff is crazy, but we still followed the rules. Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, Matias Funes out of Argentina won several of the Guild Awards. Best Bowie, Best Fighter, I think, and Best of Show. Yeah, the quality was incredible. Some of those categories were exceptionally tight. So it was like, which of these most excellent knives shall be the winner? Right.
Yeah, it almost makes me not ever want to submit a knife. I mean, they're that gorgeous, and I think I make nice knives, but they're just artistically or just something else. The South African one was so polished, that almost a short sword. That was made by
Dion Nell. Dion Nell out of South Africa. He built a Loveless Big Bear, a handle, but he just kept the blade going. It just kept going.
Yeah.
That blade was 18 inches. Was exceptionally polished and ground.
Yeah, that was nice.
Very, very well done. Like no wiggles, no wobbles, no asymmetry, no nothing. Just a long, perfect hollow ground mirror polish blade.
For sure.
I don't know if it was you, Jason, or somebody else when I was going up, because I was like, I was thinking about just, hey, I have my knives. I might as well just, submit them and for an award and see how that falls out. And then I was like, well, I don't know. There's a lot of great knives. And then somebody said, hey, you want to know something? If you don't submit them, you're absolutely not going to win.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, that makes sense, And then, again, it gets you used to the process and exactly. I got to see the Argentinian knife, and then it was my knife, and then it was Tyrell's Dennis's knife. And I was sandwiched between those two, and I was like, "Oh, that's just wonderful. Thank you."
Did Dennis put in that feather Damascus? I'm talking about that 3D feather Damascus.
Put in a great big dagger short swordy thing.
Well, he had one in the fighter category. I'm not sure which. Long.
Yeah, I'm surprised one of those. I'm sure that, it was very close. They were all wonderful, but he had some gorgeous knives for sure.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So with regard to the knives, so we will have them out in the next episode of the Guild, but hopefully we get those uploaded. You can find them at the Knife Makers Guild on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and hopefully we'll have them on our website soon, because it was a phenomenal year for gorgeous knives. So, and we had a ton of new members. Came in, so that's very good.
Yep. Very good.
What were some of the changes in the Guild this year?
Tee that up for me, Chip. Thank you.
There you
go. So we did a couple of changes to the bylaws as part of our last election process. We have added reciprocity where journeyman smiths can come in as probationary members directly without other inspections. That was voted on by the membership. We also added some dues for probationary members.
Because now, prior to that, master smiths could come right in.
Right. We had voting member reciprocity for master smiths.
Yeah, so we've added
We added probationary member reciprocity for journeyman smiths.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I cut you off, and you were also talking about.
No, I was just saying we had dues added a little bit to the probationary membership. They got for many years they get to hang out with us and be junior members, sort of, but they don't contribute either. But they also get some of the benefits, right? So we put it out to the membership. This was not an executive anything. We put it out, and the members voted about 85% in favor of adding a small fee to the probationary membership level.
Yeah.
Did that. One of the biggest things that we did this year was kind of goofy. We had a business meeting, and nobody fussed or argued.
It was a beautiful meeting.
And now, if you've ever been a part of the Guild or any other old man club in the universe, right? Like, to have an open business meeting that just goes smooth, man, that's like some kind of record. Like, that's worth talking about right there. It was a good day.
No. It was a gorgeous meeting. It was nothing but good news, growth, compliments, and recognition of leaders leaving their posts, recognition of leaders coming into the post, and also growth with some of the things that we've done with, letting new people in at certain levels, or also, recognizing the ability of our apprentice members, or I guess what is the official title for the $25 level?
Oh, probationary is what it was.
Oh, probationary members. Excuse me.
Yeah, we kind of had a pre-probationary. Yeah.
Okay, so
again, even as the head, I have a hard time drawing out the flow chart. We're working to simplify that.
Yeah, and
a lot of different paths,
and that's where
we're committed to helping everybody get there from wherever they come.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that was a part of the discussion this year around Brotherly's show about for next year as we continue to grow. Some people walked away with, hey, let's have conversations about that, is how do we develop roles for probationary members other than being in probationary and have to make your knives? Or do we want to develop a role for somebody that comes in to the Guild with aspirations of becoming a probationary member? And I can't speak for leadership right now. These are all ideas on the table that people talk about. So it's constant. It's not your father's guild, Jason Fry. It's not your father's guild. And the fathers of the guild are a wonderful organization. But what we're seeing, certainly through the tenure of the current and the recently leadership that's moving out of that role, is that they've put a lot of growth into it the last 2 years, and this last year it took a big jump, and I'm looking forward to seeing what next year even continues to do. As
been
far as
good, but it's going to be even better.
Yeah. We're building up that momentum and we're getting it going. Mark and I being rookie members, so to speak. Well, I'm not a rookie anymore. Mark is, because I went to Texas, Mark.
Yeah, you got a level below you now, Chip. You're an old monkey.
I know. I tell you. And the thing is that I was only a rookie for a couple months. That's what happens when you go to Texas. And now, Mark, you've got to wait, till next Texas to become an old monkey. So maybe old monkey will be this episode instead of I enjoyed my colonoscopy or something like that. So old monkeys. But a lot of opportunities abound and a lot of growth is happening. So if you haven't had a chance to look at it, check out the knifemakersguild.com. Also check us out on Facebook and start asking questions, connect with us, and we'll talk to you about your path to get into the guild. I'm not trying to make this an advertisement as much to say, hey, we want to let people know that it's a great organization. Good to be in. And they did recognize Josh Howard as a new guild member at the Alabama Custom Knife Makers Guild. And everybody applauded him. And then Josh recognized me because he knew I was balled up in the corner all hurt because they hadn't recognized me. So that's a joke. That's a joke we got running. But so we've got 2 guild members at that particular Custom Knife Makers group. I know that. How many do y'all have, Mark? You got you and Holtz.
Yeah, I think, maybe it's just me and Josh Holtz.
So, and of course that's a pattern for growth because 2 multiplies into 4, which multiplies into 8 and so on.
Yeah. And there's a couple other folks so Joseph Potts is down here and he makes great knives and he's, I see improvement, constant improvement on him. So I don't know if he's interested in it, but I'm going to, talk to him a little bit more about, joining the guild and, couple good knife makers down here that'd be good to start moving that way.
Okay. Well, we're going to continue to Shanghai people in, whether they like it or not, because once they get in, they're going to love it. And in all actuality, we want people to come because they want to come, but it's a good organization. Let's change gear. I'm getting ready to make a cake set out of stainless steel. I've never used stainless steel before. So what do I have? I have some stainless steel. Don't ask me I can look it up on my phone.
24 CN and LMNOP
Yeah. It's right? It's what Dirk Luth said. Use this. This is really good. It'll hug it for you fine. And so I got that. I've got 2 pieces. I've got a thin piece and a thicker piece. I'm trying to remember the thicknesses I got. Is it 330 seconds? That would be 330 seconds for a chef knife. Is that what you get? Okay.
Yeah, usually.
That's probably right.
And then I've got 1/8, I guess, or probably. Is it 3/16? And then I've got 330. Anyway, I've got a little thicker piece to make my serving knife or spatula, whatever you call those things, with. And then I've got the thinner piece to make the blade with. So Here's my plan, guys. Let me know if I'm doing the right thing here since I've never done this before. I'm going to follow my recipe for my stainless steel as far as heat treating it. But before I do that, I've got to go ahead and profile it out and get all of my holes drilled because I won't be able to cut into it afterwards. Once I've got that all done and I've got it smoothed out and I've basically got my profile of my knife, I'm going to put it in that nice stainless steel foil that I got from USA Knife Maker. I got 2 feet of it. That stuff's expensive, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Can you reuse it?
No.
Yeah, not really. You can kind of sometimes get it.
It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brittle.
You can sometimes get away with reusing, but most of the time, no. What it's good for, though, that burned out foil is great for the inside of a canister. That makes the can not stick to.
That's a great idea.
So don't throw it away.
That's a Templar's tip.
There you go. Right there. We hadn't had one of those in a while.
I don't remember who I stole it from. I didn't invent that. But
so
it works great.
So I got 2 feet of it because I don't plan on at this point. I may become a big stainless steel guy after this, or who knows. But I don't plan on doing a lot of it. It was like $80 for 12 feet of it. And I think I got $25 for 2 feet by 1 foot by 24 inches, or it was something. It was 11 by 24, 11 by 12, 2 sheets of 11 by 12. Anyway, that'll do at least 2 knives, maybe 3. So I'm going to wrap that up. I'm going to hammer the seams. I'm going to make sure not to cut myself as I'm folding it all over. So I'll get me a little bendy tool, one of those little, clampers with the flat lips on it, bend it over, hammer it down, fold it over again, hammer it down, and then I know I've got a good seal. Then I'm going to follow my recipe for that particular steel in the oven, which there's a longer ramp up time and this, that, and the other for doing the stainless steel. Then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to promptly quench it in my Parks 50, and from there I'm going to go into my new.
I don't think you're putting it in Parks 50.
What am I putting it in?
You're air quenching it, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you. I see people.
Yeah. I mean, if you have it in a stainless wrap, you're putting it between your aluminum plates.
Go straight to the plates.
Well, see, there I learned. So I'm going to take it out. I'm going to go straight to the aluminum plates, and I'm going to clamp that mother down, and just enough to hold it down.
And then you blast it with, you can blast it with air, right, to cool it off a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Okay. So I can do that. Blast it with some air, and then when it comes out, do I want to take it out of the foil at that time before I stick it in the freezer?
So interesting that you say that, right? Because behind Kyle was Jeff Hoffman's table is right there, and so I got to do a lot of chatting with him, and I was asking him, what steels he uses, and he's been using AEBL for some of his knives. And I was like, man, my AEBL warps a lot. And he's like, this is what I do, and I never have a problem. And so I guess he doesn't take, or maybe he does take it out, but he clamps it whenever always does more than one knife, and he clamps all his knives together when he puts it into he puts it in nitrogen, but whatever kind of cooling he's going to put it into, he said just clamp all of them together, and it just gives you that extra brace to keep from having something warp in the.
So I could take a straight edge of some mild steel or some.
That's what I would think.
Just clamp it.
I do that some. I'll clamp it to a piece of angle or something. Or I've started doing like Jess and just clamping them all together in one.
That's right.
Well, I'm only going to have one knife, so
go to something solid, or just plate quench it and see how it comes out. I mean, it doesn't always go. Carbide hammer will fix it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So when you're saying this is they don't warp in the freezer, you're talking about warping coming out of the.
They warp all the places.
Yeah,
if you put any kind of temperature on it, cold, hot, it's gonna wiggle. Sometimes.
Why in the world do I want to make stainless steel anyway?
Then rust.
Eventually, I do. So I'll take it out. Do I take it out of the foil before I put it on a piece of plate steel? Clamp it to it.
I would. If you're just going to throw them in the freezer, throw them in the freezer. But if you're going to clamp it to something, go ahead and pull it out so you can see if it's straight and make sure it's clamped. Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to use my metal cutters. I'm going to cut it out off the end, and then I'm going to put it I'm going to clamp it to a piece of mild steel. And from that point, I'm going to put it into the freezer for 24 hours is what was recommended. And then I'm supposed to get 60-something Rockwell after doing that because I'm not going to use nitrogen or dry ice or anything. So then I've got a blade. Now I'm going to take that blade. I'm going to put it on my grinder. It's very thin steel, so I don't want to take 36 to it, correct?
I mean, I don't like a 36 anyway. I mean, I do most of my profiling and rough stuff with 50 or 60.
So is it okay to start with a 60 grit belt then? Or an 80 grit?
Yeah, 60 or 80. But you want to use a good ceramic belt.
Which is what I got.
Hardened stainless. I personally like the Norton Blazes. I had used the Cubitrons for a long time until they went up to like $18 a piece.
So why is 60, you say 61, 62 Rockwell hardness stainless steel harder to grind than 6061 high carbon?
Different alloys make different toughness.
Okay.
Having all that chromium in there and whatever else makes it grind different.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it without.
And I think different steels, even different stainlesses are different for that, right? Like it's really, wear resistance is really resistance to your belts. So a better wear resistance on your stainless, then that means you're really just going to be harder to grind.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I will then grind this thing out, and at that point, I guess I'll go to hand sanding, and I guess hand sanding's crazier and can be too.
It's important to get your scratches out on the grinder if you can.
Okay. So before I
harden 60 grit
it,
underneath there, it's going to take a while to get it out.
Okay. So before I harden it, I need to make sure it's fairly sanded out to where I want it to be, just to make it easier on myself. And then when I go to the belts, make sure that it's. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do a full grind on it, I guess. So maybe I don't have to with a cake knife, but anyway, I know I need to make sure that I've ground it out and I've gone through the progression of the belts to make sure I get basically all of the grinds out.
Yeah, and you have your waterfall platen too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean, you can, once you've gotten whatever you put it on that, and that
have
definitely
fun.
get your scratch lines. I mean, anything. I'm at the point where anything that can keep me from hand sanding some things is better.
Okay. So after that, then it's just handle glue up and finish the knife and make it pretty. And now, as far as etching it, same etching solution and everything should work.
I didn't etch. I think it's different etching solution.
Yeah, you don't. Don't really etch stainless much.
Really?
I mean, Kyle etched the stainless Damascus that he got from. Oh my gosh.
Housework, Ira.
Yeah, that's right, Ira. Right, and so, but there's like the Gator Piss Pro or different. There's like Gator Piss 2.
I'm talking about etching my Maker's Mark.
Will
it eat in the Maker's Mark?
Interesting. I haven't done it that way. I've only lasered my Maker's Mark on my stainless knives.
Your standard electric AC and DC does work.
Oh,
okay. So I'll be able to etch a mark in there. Okay. And then after that, it's just handles. Now on the cake server, I'm not going to harden it at all. It's going to be mild stainless steel, so to speak, unhardened. And then I'll just cut it out and sand it and make a matching handle so that it looks about the same. So that'll be the easiest part, I think, making that particular one. And I can just etch a Maker's Mark in the bottom side of it. So we'll see how those come out. And I will tell you see the shirt that I'm wearing tonight, guys.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Still Dog Knives out of Tomball, Texas. And if I got away from my mic, Still Dog Knives out of Tomball, Texas. Anyway, that's a good friend of mine. And I was actually looking at his beautiful chef knives and took notice of one of his handle styles. So I'm going to see if I can't get close into one of those. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I watched a video of his once. It wasn't really a video that he posted. I think he was giving a demo at some, symposium or something like that. But it was a really good. I wouldn't mind listening to him give that demo again if I got to hear it in person, because he was really talking about grinding techniques and distal tapering and just methods for balance, and it was a lot of good points for a kitchen knife. That things that I had never really considered. I just, was using my hunter thought process on a kitchen knife. And so he was, he was giving a lot of good info, but it wasn't the greatest because somebody was just filming from the back of the crowd. And so it'd be great to either see that in person or go to a demo that he's showing at.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll see how it comes out and, see how it comes out. We all know it's the last 10% that you spend the 90% on or whatever price said. So I know how to make a pretty knife. Just if I can save myself from doing too much sanding, hopefully they'll come out nice. But I don't plan on starting a business selling chef's knives or cake knives. I'm just doing a special set that, that they'll be able to share. I'm kind of deciding, should I use, it's a wedding. I thought about using bone and making kind of, a white set of, they're not going to be, they'll be bone white. So that's not pure white, or maybe black ebony, but really that comes down to the bride and what she wants. So
what's the, you should find out what the wedding color is, because normally there'll be a color, whatever that
match
is. And if you could match the theme, that might be pretty cool too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting some segmented scales or something that had some colors in them. So I've got to work on that. Once I get the knives made, we'll do the handles will be the easy part. That's for sure. But anyway, we'll see how those come out. So, well, guys, we've been on here about an hour and a half, and I think 28 minutes of it was me talking about my colonoscopy. And in 5 years, we'll have, 5 years. Let's see, we'll be about episode 243. It'll be the colonoscopy 2. And if you guys, have a colonoscopy and want to talk about it, matter of fact, any of the listeners want to phone in and tell us about their colonoscopy or social media, tell us your colonoscopy story, and we will post it in the Knife Makers Guild magazine, or we'll talk about it here online. We'd love to hear your colonoscopy story. But with all that being said, Mark, what you got lined up this weekend?
So I'm finally back on track, and I'm finally back to those stainless hunters that I'm going to put the gussel bolts in. Yeah. When I was at Blade Show, I because I didn't originally buy last year the I got them from Maker Material Supply, but I got a different size gussel bolt with the wrong size. What do you call it?
Counterbore?
Not leader. Yeah, what was I had the counterbore, but the pilot that goes in the counterbore was the wrong size, and so I was like, I'm not going to pay shipping for this little teeny, like half a gram. So I was like, I'll just wait for Blade Show. So even though Josh Holtz, he has them all, he's like, hey, just come down and grab one from the shop. But Blade Show is coming up quick, so I bought that. So I think I have all the pieces I need now to get those done. So I'm gonna see how that how those come out.
How big is your shop?
I think it's 12 by 12.
Oh, okay. And do you park your cars in your garage?
No, but half of my garage is my gym. And then the other half of my garage is my heat treating oven, welder, and like car tools.
Who at your age, you don't need a gym?
What do you mean?
You put your gym out in your shop and move your shop to the garage.
So like, and I had thought about that one, I don't have enough room in my shop for my workout equipment, but yeah, like I just don't want the a lot of that. I don't know. All that stuff because I have a lot of stuff stored in my garage and everything, and there's no separate room where I can contain it, and it would just get everywhere. So
is your son old enough? Is your son old enough to kick him out and put him? Your wife wouldn't let you do that.
No,
you're not turning that into your gym. So there we go. So stainless steel. Fry, what are you doing this weekend? Fishing?
So I have a little bit of a dilemma.
And
I'm trying to make a choice that I don't know anything about. So I'm working on a book called Knife Making for Everyone. It's my first how to make a knife book from A to Z, like linear. I've written all kinds of books, but Knife Making for Everyone. And I'm working on the cover design. And we want to kind of make it look like a knife maker's workshop with a smattering of tools and stuff. It's going to end up looking hopefully like a cluttered workbench of some kind. But it's going to be a studio. Mine's plenty cluttered. It's just dirt, dust. But we're doing a studio photo that's a setup to kind of evoke that knife maker's workshop kind of image.
Yeah,
but we need a knife.
Like the new Yankee workshop.
Yeah, we need not Yankees. We need a knife for the center.
Yeah.
And I just came off a Blade Show. Everything I have left is not suitable for that. So this weekend, I'm trying to make a knife to put on the cover of my new book.
What about your new buoy?
I could, but it's complex, right? So that's the drill. If you're doing a how to make a knife from A to Z,
mm-hmm.
like a I don't know if I want a crazy
you want a more
Damascus.
basic but clean.
Yeah,
knife,
maybe I want it. I don't know. That's the dilemma. See, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you ought to put a couple. I think you ought to put your
like a simple knife and a medium knife and a crazy knife.
I would do that. I think if your Bowie's done, I would probably put that on there. But one of your White River style knives, your own made, White River.
Yeah, maybe. So that's the other problem is that I don't have any of those left that are hardened. I have a couple of small ones that I can heat treat. But if I'm going to harden stuff, well, that puts me beyond the weekend.
Have you thought about going up to that place up in Michigan and having them clean the maker's mark off of your knives so that you can?
I'll just grind it right off of there. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. What was that place called? White River?
White River. I think you're confusing their ethics with Bark River.
No. White River's make sure's, but you could go up to Bark River.
They could show me how to grind the mark off.
And still make it look good and go from there.
But no, so that's what I'm doing. I started working on another Bowie that I might do a little less complex.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that one is that it's a really goofy one-off billet. Almost sort of want something standard, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm stuck. Is trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And my publisher, bless his heart, is like, whatever you want to do. I'm like, oh man, you're the publisher. Like, give me some help.
I don't think you should put something on the cover of your book that you don't cover in your book.
Correct. That's exactly right.
I mean, like, and so if you're not covering like complex, if you're not covering fossil Damascus, that might not be the best knife.
I agree.
To put on there, right? And
that's exactly right.
So because somebody will get the book, it's like, man, I'm going to build a fossil Damascus Bowie.
Yeah, and it's not in there at all. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly the dilemma. And so the stuff that I could crank out quickly or clean is not. That's not what I want. Like, it's not the normal ones. I finished all the normal stuff from all my shows.
Right.
Kind of in a low inventory state. So that's my dilemma. Is what do I do? What do I make?
Well, it doesn't take. I mean, you said you wouldn't have time to heat treat it, but I mean, you could just do a forge heat treat, right? And heat treat something that you can.
Could. If I was all of the simple stuff that I do is usually in stainless, and so I'd have to wrap and ramp and I mean, it would take all day to do it well. Maybe by lunchtime I could get them done, but then
I forgot. I didn't know you were doing stainless.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have this weekend. I'm on call, so I just have to stay around the house and answer the phone.
Gotcha.
Next weekend, my whole family's going to be out of town, so I could
listen at you. I don't know if I told you guys I had a colonoscopy this week, and one of the things that they told me going out the door was you can't operate any equipment for the next 24 hours. And I said, in my milk of amnesia state, can I sand a knife? And they're like, no, you can't sand a knife. My wife says, he does it on a big machine. They go, no, wouldn't leave it louder. So now that I've got my wits about me again, I'm going to be finishing up that Brute de Forge tomorrow and making a couple sheaths this weekend. I got to make a sheath for a guy that wants one. Also, I have a guy that gave me a folder from the 1960s. It was his grandfather's, and the handles had fallen off of it. Still got the pins in it, and he wants me, and I'm going to take it on. And he's a friend, so it's not that big of a deal work for him to disassemble it, put a new set of handle scales on it, and then repin it. And I'll show you guys a knife before I get started, but I think I can put new pins in it as well. The only thing I want to make sure I don't screw up anything on the alignment, but I think since the knife's already made, it opens and closes just fine as long as I duplicate the pins that are in it and, don't glue it, mess up the gluing when I put it together. It should probably turn out pretty nice. So I'm going to look at that this weekend. And then, so if I get all that done starting Monday, I'll be ready to start on that. And I may even get the cake knife profiled out this weekend and maybe get it heat treated and put in the oven. But
very cool.
Not pushing it because I don't want to run. But hey, one of the big things we want to let you guys know, like we said at the beginning of the show, also make sure you visit our sponsors. Pop's Knife Supplies, popsknifesupplies.com. They carry wonderful new Pro Cut It's been out for a few months and the people are raving about it. I'm an 8670 fan as well, but they've got tons and tons of different steel and all kinds of knife making supplies. Go out and visit TR Maker. You can find them at tr-maker.com. Got about 45,000 hits on a piece of equipment that he makes it's a handle glue up vise that he makes. And a lot of people are looking at right now, and he makes a slew of other tools. New Jersey Steel Bearing. Not only do they sell just about any steel you want, they also have services where they'll cut out patterns and such for you with patterns with a water jet they've got. Brodbeck Ironworks continues to grow and grow and grow. We hear that talking with Ryan or sharing emails with him, says his knee's healing up well. That's good. So we'll see him maybe at the next Blade show. He was out still healing this last one, but go ahead and support his great brand, his great grinders at BrodbeckIronworks.com. Again, Shegman Knives at knife-maker.com. Phoenix Abrasives. And if you put in Templars 10 at checkout, you get 10% off your order. Belts and all types of abrasives and anything that they have to sell. Jason Fry, Custom Knives. You can see him at FryCustomKnives.com. EvenHeat-Kilns.com if you want one of the best kilns on the market. Been around a long time. CageDailyKnives.com. You can go out and pick up not only a good knife, buy yourself a buddy while you're at it. Clark Iron Forge, and of course, the KnifeMakersGuild.com. And with all that being said, Mark, I mean, do you have your website up yet?
It is. And so VMAXCustomWorks.com. And but you know, the only problem is that there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to upload, but that's when my computer went down, and so I'm running my desktop that has all my info on it in safe mode with no internet access or Bluetooth or anything, right? Like, and so I just have the data on there. So I look forward to this week trying to get that laptop up and running so I can start messing around with my website again.
Well, one thing that makes me very happy on your website, and that's VMAXCustomWorks.com. If you go to the About Me page, I just found out he's on Team Chip. And, you know, I've always known that we were friends, but the fact that you're on Team Chip really makes me feel better. He's got, or is that the name of your dojo?
Yeah, that was a martial arts school I went to in Texas.
So I'm just going to think.
Yeah.
I'm just going to think it's
both great
different.
men. Chip Carlisle and Chip Townsend are great.
I'm a better man because of my friendship with you and Jason and the others. So you've also got his lasers, his knives. His name is VMAX, and he tells you why. And VMAX requesting a flyby. And what do we say when you request a flyby? That's a what they say in that movie.
Permission to buzz the tower?
Yeah, what did they say? About no, and then he buzzed it anyway. But then let's see, he's got a knife gallery here. Oh my gosh. Guys, we're giving him some extra time here because this is beautiful. Then he's got this laser gallery with this oh my gosh, that fire coin you made. I'm telling you, you guys, if you don't go out and visit VMAX Custom Works, did I say that right?
Yeah, VMAXCustomWorks.com.
Customworks.com. You are missing something. He's a great maker and a great friend. And if you buy one of his knives, he'll be your friend too. So visit us on Riverside. You can visit us at Spotify. You can visit us at Apple. You can visit all of the major podcast providers. And you can always email us at the Knives Templars at yahoo.com. And we will be tickled. We will be tickled to answer your email. So with all that being said, guys, this is the time when you say
good night, everybody.
There we go. Good night. Yeah, everybody likes to say oinky too quick. You guys did perfect. You get an A tonight.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Brought to you by Porkhouse Productions. Oinky, oinky, oinky.
And that's a wrap. So, I still may be under the influence of propofol. I don't know. Stuff's good, though. It's a good nap. It's a really good nap. And if you say it's not, you're lying. I woke up. You go to sleep. And I remember telling the lady, I think I'm going to sleep. She said, you are. And then the next sense I wake up and go, hello, I'm back.
It was a good nap, though. I'll give them that.
A really good nap. I can see why Michael Jackson loved the stuff. They said they don't. I said, do you send samples home? And they said, no, we don't. I said, can I have some more? And they said, no, you can't. But we don't give you as much as they gave Michael Jackson. So undoubtedly, he was drinking the stuff. So unfortunate. He's a good singer. So guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And man, it's good to be back.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah.
Some of you guys still have kids at home, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But Sunday, my grandchildren and my son will be here. My other son, Dr. Patrick, will be over in North Carolina where he lives. So
I was going to go visit my dad, and then I forgot I was on call, so now I can't go anywhere.
No.
I'll just do the phone call thing, I guess.
Yeah. Have you ever made your dad a knife?
I have. My brother and I collaborated on one early on. I gave him a White River also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few.
Good.
Got a few.
Max, you've given father-in-laws, or is your father living, Mark?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, so you've given them knives?
Yeah. They've my dad and my father-in-law both got a knife.
How nice.
And my mom and my mother-in-law and my sister.
So they would be equally weaponized in case they all got mad at each other. Everybody had one.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, my father-in-law and my father passed away before I could, but I have given my sons both knives, so I've enjoyed that. So, well, guys, I hope you have a blessed weekend. And now's the part where we all say,
oinky,
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 oinky, oinky. There you go. There you go. Good night, guys.